Hi everybody, Liz and Annie here again. Today we're making some more videos to help everybody make the shift over to Canvas in case you're using that as your LMS for the first time or one of the first times in upcoming quarters here at UCR, wherever you are. So we're in my Zoom room, and then on the other side of my screen, I already have my Canvas site pulled up. So this is the eLearn site that UCR now has available as a pilot rollout of the Canvas LMS for people who have opted into that. In the coming quarters, though, it'll be something that the entire campus is using, so this will be good to get familiar with probably as soon as possible. What we want to show today is something that may not be completely intuitive about the Canvas Gradebook, especially if you are coming from Blackboard and you are used to working in the iLearn Blackboard environment. So to show you this, I'm going to go into my unpublished course that's the 161 class that I'll be teaching in winter. There's nothing in here yet except for like students who have already enrolled, so I've set it up so we can't see their names. And all of that will be hidden. And you can see, like, I will change this before I actually start teaching, but I have this cute picture of me and Annie as like the cover landing photo for myself, so I can remember that we're using this course as a sandbox as we're making these tutorial videos. Okay, so I click on the course card or the tile and it takes me into the class, and so far there's nothing in here because I haven't built out modules, I haven't organized my content for winter quarter. And by default, a lot of different options here are have this little like I with a slash through it, which means students can't see it. So I, as the instructor, could click on any of this stuff and have access behind the scenes, but students are not automatically seeing all of this stuff, either because it doesn't have content and so it won't be displayed, or because it's been hidden on the back end by Excite, by like our Canvas administrators, so that students don't see it as a matter of default. So what I want to do first is show you how the gradebook looks. So I'm going to click on grades. And I have kind of moved this around so we can't see the names of the students who are enrolled in my class. So like this first column is student names, and I've just smushed it so that it's narrow. This is not the default view, but this is, you know, obviously to protect the identities of people who are enrolled in my class for winter. And right now my gradebook is almost nothing. So it's basically a column for assignments. There's nothing in here, and then a total with this little error message essentially because there's nothing to compute a total out of. Okay, so this is something that is a little bit odd in comparison to iLearn or Blackboard. You don't make columns in your gradebook directly within the gradebook in Canvas. Instead, you're going to go, I'm going to go this way. I'm going to go back to the assignments tab for my 161 class. I'm going to create an assignment there. And then as soon as I create an assignment that has a grading value attached to it, it's going to show up in my gradebook. So I'll show you. I'm going to first just make a random assignment. And it's Annie's New Year's resolutions. Okay. And I'm going to give it a point value. So this is worth 500 points. It's a huge assignment for Annie. And right now I'm leaving it an assignment group assignments. I'll explain this in a second. I could exclude this from calculation into the final grade, like the running final percentage in the gradebook, but I want it to count, so I'm going to leave it as is. And I'm going to have it be an online entry. This is an interesting thing about setting up your assignments in Canvas. I usually, when I have students type or write or like do any kind of response, give them a text box option and also a file upload option. So you can see here I've done this before in Canvas. So like I would say docx, doc, PDFs would be the way that you might want to restrict the file types if you do that. You can set the number of attempts they have to do it. Plagiarism review, this is a really nice thing about UCR's instance of Canvas. So we can, by default, assign a Turnitin plagiarism review tool to all the written assignments that students are doing if we want to do that. It'll show the report to students if you do assign that, so they know if they need to kind of go back and make sure that they're putting things into their own words a little bit better. There's a lot of options for how you're going to set this up. So I'm going to also create a due date. Let's say, I don't know, Friday, a couple weeks into the quarter, and I'm going to save and publish this. So just as a reminder, even though I'm publishing this assignment within my Canvas course shell, none of my enrolled students who are planning to take this course in the winter are going to be able to see it because the course itself is not published. So I'm just working within. So once I publish this, you can see there's 500 points. Now I can go over to grades, go back to my gradebook, and it will have linked this new assignment that I just made here. So I could, once people start submitting this assignment, I could click on Speed Grader. When they submit either text into the text box or upload a file, it'll show me a little file icon for everyone who's submitted something. It will color code in the gradebook to let you know if students have turned in assignments late, or if they're missing an assignment altogether. And then the Speed Grader function for me or the TAs is really handy because it lets you like basically crank through every single student's assignment for a particular column in your gradebook. So you can go through and assign the point value that students have earned for each assignment attempt. Okay, so this is one thing that you need to know. To put stuff into the gradebook, columns into the gradebook, you have to make assignments. So you don't do this within the gradebook itself. You cannot create new columns that end up getting weighted appropriately. The other thing I want to show you, I'm going to back up, go to assignments. So I just made an assignment. I just chucked it into a like generic assignment subheader, if my Canvas will load. Okay. So now if I wanted to call this something else, I could make a new group. So instead of just generic assignments, I could say, I don't know, like podcasts. Okay, so now I could add a new assignment. I'm going to make it during the winter quarter. My Canvas, actually my internet is being a little laggy and slow today. I could publish this when I'm ready. Just clicking on that will change it to a green check, which means it's published. And now, depending on how I want to weight this, I can go up here, click on the little 3 dots next to assignment groups weight. So this is going to be the way I align all of the content and the assignments students are seeing on Canvas with the percentages for the type of assignment that I specify in my syllabus page. So I don't have the syllabus for this class up here yet, but if I wanted to use weighting, Canvas's gradebook will do that for me automatically. I just have to tell it like how to treat the different categories of assignments. So right now, the only assignment I have is Annie telling us her New Year's resolutions. So I'm going to make that 50%, and the podcast assignment that I also just made under a different subheader here is going to be 50%. So that adds to 100%. That's good. I can also come in here and specify things. Let's see if I can do that here. Maybe I can do it here. Yeah. Okay. This is great. So within assignments, so one thing that I typically do is give my students like a little writing assignment every week, but I let them have a gimme where like 1 week in a given quarter, they can just skip this, no penalty. I don't need to know why they overslept or they were busy or they were stressed or they couldn't come to class for some reason. Doesn't matter. I don't need documentation. They can just skip a week. No problem. So I can tell Canvas to ignore some set number of scores within an assignment group. So this could be like writing assignments. This could be exams if you wanted to drop the lowest exam score for your students in the gradebook toward the end of the quarter. So you can just tell it how many you're going to ignore. Since I only have 1 assignment currently in the assignment category, I'm going to leave this alone for now, but I could also specify never drop certain things. So if there are ones that they cannot opt out of, you could add that. You can kind of like tailor how you want Canvas to be like managing those assignments and interpreting that as it puts it into the final gradebook for you. Okay. And then the other thing, I think, don't mind the background distractions in my video today. The other thing is we've talked about creating a module. So I'm going to make a week 1 module just to show you really quickly that I can add something to the module. So I'll show you what I did. I created this new module, then I clicked on the plus sign, and now it's letting me deploy content. So this is the different kinds of files, pages, assignments, whatever it is that I've got in the course. I can allocate those to particular modules so that my students don't have to like hunt around for the files or the materials that we want them to look at. So I'm going to add an assignment to week 1. I'm going to assign this particular one. I'll do that in just a second, but here in the dropdown, you see I could choose all these different kinds of things, and this will give a different icon that sits next to the link to whatever it is that you've put into that module, just as a visual reminder of what the assignment or what the property is. The assignment is totally fine. I want Annie's New Year's resolution to be assigned to week 1. and then it appears here. So if I'm a student and I have access only to week 1, and then when week 1 is finished, week 2, and so on throughout the quarter, I will see all the things that I'm supposed to be working on and completing appear under the module header. So we mentioned this in a video yesterday, but this is what we mean when we say like you create assignments and then you're going to deploy them within modules to like organize everything that you've got for your course. Okay, I think that's it. Annie, do you want to add anything else or note anything about this? All right, good luck with this. We'll be back soon with more stuff.